My beloved child, what you're about to hear was meant only for your soul. You may not realize it, but heaven has been holding its breath every time you scroll past what your heart was meant to hear. Every time your soul feels a gentle pull and you choose silence, something holy grieves. Not because God is angry, but because He is so deeply in love with you. Love that doesn't shout. Love that waits. Love that bends low in your darkest moment and whispers, "Please let me in." And now, in this fragile moment, the heavens have opened once again, giving you 30 sacred minutes to hear what eternity has been trying to tell you. This is not about punishment. This is about pursuit. God has been chasing your heart, not to punish your sins, but to restore your soul. Every time you walked away, He stayed close. Every time you felt empty, He poured more love into your silence. You didn't notice, but the days you should have broken beyond repair, He stood guard. The nights you thought no one saw your tears, He was writing promises into your future with each drop. He has never missed a moment of you. You think He's far, but He's been closer than your breath. Watching. Waiting. Warring for you. There is a reason this message found you. It's not just a coincidence. It's divine timing. Heaven orchestrated this second to interrupt your routine and wrap its arms around your weary spirit. God isn't asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be present. He's asking for your ears, for your openness, for just one moment of surrender. Because what He is about to reveal is not another command, it's a confirmation. That He has not changed His mind about you. That He still calls you chosen. That even in your flaws, you are still the one He's preparing miracles for. This isn't about religion. It's about relationship. It's not about rules. It's about restoration. And that's why He's crying, not because you failed, but because you've forgotten how deeply you are loved. His tears are not of anger. They are the sound of a father watching his child miss the very thing that would heal them. This is your hour of healing. Don't ignore it again. Don't rush past it like the others. Sit with it. Let it wash over you. Let it break you, not with shame, but with softness. You are not too far. You are not too late. You are still His. Heaven has given you 30 minutes, but what happens in this moment can shift your next 30 years. All it takes is your yes. Not a loud one. A surrendered one. This message was written through tears. Because your name has been echoing in heaven for days. Angels have been speaking it. Michael has been guarding it. And now God is reaching for you again, not to remind you of what you did, but to remind you of who you are. Heaven has been whispering your name into the winds, not because God needs your attention, but because your soul is starving for what only His voice can provide. Every skipped moment is not counted as rebellion, but as delay in your healing. And yet, He still waits. He waits not with fury but with tears in His eyes, knowing that each second you hesitate, the miracle assigned to you is suspended in stillness. This is not pressure, it's presence. The presence of a father who doesn't run out of patience, but whose heart trembles when his child walks past the very water that could quench their deepest thirst. You have asked why you feel stuck, why doors open and then close, why your heart feels full one day and hollow the next. This is why. Because the voice that created you is the only one that can realign you, and you've been silencing it, unintentionally, with distractions disguised as decisions. You didn't mean to skip him. You didn't mean to ignore the signs. You didn't mean to pretend everything was okay when your soul was screaming quietly for relief. But now, heaven is not sending you another chance, it is sending you a shift. This is a shift in the atmosphere, in your emotional reality, in your spiritual direction. The silence you've been carrying is about to break. And not with noise, but with clarity. The burden you've been dragging through each week like chains around your ankles is about to be cut loose. Because God says, I can't watch you sleep through another sunrise. I can't watch you build a life around survival when I created you for overflow. And beloved, He sees how much you've tried. He sees how you smile at others while your soul aches in secret. He sees how strong you've been even when nobody checked in. But He also sees the cracks. He sees the nights when your prayers are more like groans. He hears what you're too tired to speak. And in those hidden cries, He is gathering seeds. Seeds of breakthrough. Seeds of restoration. Seeds of a new chapter that doesn't resemble anything you've walked through before. He's not just offering healing, He's offering rebirth. A holy unraveling of what was, so that what is coming can finally take root without resistance. Archangel Michael stands at the door of your breakthrough, not holding it closed, but guarding it. Guarding it from interference. Guarding it from delay. Guarding it from everything that once tried to steal your joy. And He is waiting for one thing, your heart's response. Not a dramatic shout, not a religious ritual, but a simple, quiet yes. A yes that says, God, I'm tired of skipping. I'm ready to stay. And when that yes rises, heaven will not trickle, it will pour. Answers will not come in riddles, they will come in rivers. God is not asking you to figure it all out. He is asking you to lean in and finally listen. Because this time, what He is saying isn't just for comfort, it's for completion. You've circled the same emotions, the same disappointments, the same unfinished prayers long enough. Now God is circling you. Not to punish, but to prepare. To pour out. To pull you in. The clock has started. Not in fear, but in favor. You don't have to chase what's already been sent. But you do have to receive it. So stop scrolling past your miracle. Don't let your healing slip through your hands one more time. You were never meant to walk this heavy. You were never meant to live this tired. You were meant to rise. And now, heaven is offering you the wings. You keep wondering why your heart feels restless even on peaceful days. Why your eyes search the sky and your soul feels like it's missing something that no achievement or person can fill. It is not emptiness. It is a divine echo. A memory from heaven reminding you that you were not made for surface living, you were made for spiritual depth. And every time you skip what was meant to reach you, that divine ache grows louder. Not because you are being punished, but because heaven is calling and you haven't answered. The ache is not anxiety, it's a reminder. A sacred nudge from God that says, you are needed. You are chosen. You are more than this routine. This moment, this message, was not made to go viral. It was made to go personal. It's not meant to impress you, but to wake you. Wake you from the numbness. From the patterns. From the lies you've been repeating to yourself just to make it through the day. The lie that you're not enough. The lie that you're forgotten. The lie that it's too late. God is confronting every lie that has kept you from hearing the truth. And the truth is, you are still His first choice. You are still the one He believes in. Even when you don't believe in yourself. Even when others walked away and left you wondering if something was wrong with you, God stayed. He didn't just stay. He wept. Every time you convinced yourself that you were too broken to be loved, He wept. Every time you put on a strong face for the world and collapsed in secret, He sat beside you. Not judging. Not correcting. Just holding. Holding your spirit in the safest hands, waiting for the moment you would trust Him again. Because you weren't designed to carry everything alone. You weren't meant to pretend everything's fine. You were made to be covered. To be protected. To be comforted by the one who formed your heart and still listens for its quietest cries. Archangel Michael is not sending you this message out of ritual. He's not here to warn you. He's here to rescue you. From overthinking. From self-blame. From the shame that you've been dragging like a shadow through your life. Michael has been standing at the gates of your breakthrough with keys. Keys that unlock not just new seasons, but new stories. A new chapter where you don't have to explain yourself anymore. Where you don't have to apologize for being soft-hearted. Where your sensitivity becomes your strength and your pain becomes your platform for grace. The clock is still ticking, not to scare you, but to signal you that heaven has already released what you've been praying for, but it's waiting for your spirit to say, I'm ready. Not ready for perfection. Not ready for applause. Just ready to receive. Because receiving takes trust. And trust has been hard when so many people mishandled your heart. But God is not them. He doesn't break what He blesses. He doesn't tease what He intends to transform. And He is not here to ask for your performance, He's asking for your presence. So pause. Breathe. Let these words break through the numbness and settle into the cracks of your soul like holy light. You don't have to understand the full plan. You just have to open the door. Because the knock on your spirit is not an interruption. It's an invitation. An invitation to experience God's voice again, not as thunder, but as a whisper. A whisper that says, I missed you. And I'm not giving up on you. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. You are the miracle wrapped in mortal breath that God has preserved for a greater purpose than you've been taught to believe. And yet, each time you've skipped moments like these, heaven hasn't marked it against you, it's wept for you. Because God knows what's waiting on the other side of your surrender. He knows what doors would have flown open if only you had stayed. He knows how much brighter the light inside of you could have burned if only you had believed it was worthy of being seen. But he hasn't given up. He's returned again. With gentleness, with mercy, with grace so soft it can catch the sharpest pieces of your broken spirit without letting them fall. The tears God sheds are not the tears of a weak creator. They are the tears of a loving father who refuses to let his child drift away without 1,000 reminders that they matter. You've confused his silence for absence, but in truth, silence is where he's been speaking the most. Not every miracle comes in thunder. Some come in stillness. In whispers. In nudges you feel when the room is quiet and you think of that one thing you can't explain. That's him. That's God breathing on your memory, stirring your hope, waking up the sleeping parts of your destiny. And now, those parts are opening their eyes again, because something is shifting, and this time, you will not miss it. This time, you will not walk away from your own answered prayer. You have spent enough time surviving in cycles of almost healed, almost loved, almost free. But this is the moment where God rewrites the almost with already chosen, already protected, already walking in favor that you didn't earn but were born for. And all he's asking is that you receive it before the moment passes. Not because he won't love you tomorrow, but because the miracle knocking on your door tonight will not wait forever. You've always felt like the one who was behind, the one who needed more time, more confirmation, more evidence that you were on the right path. But heaven is shifting you now into a space where you don't need to chase, only trust. Where you don't have to keep apologizing for how long it took. Because what's about to unfold won't care how late you arrived. It will only care that you said yes. Heaven doesn't shame delay. It redeems it. And Michael stands now with a scroll in his hand, your name on it, glowing in divine light. Ready to release instructions that align your soul with what's been written since before you were born. The people who doubted you, the seasons that almost broke you, the moments that made you question your worth, none of them knew what God hid inside you. And now, not even you have seen the full measure of your calling. But you will. If you stay. If you trust. If you finally stop skipping the moments sent to save you. This is more than a message. This is a rescue. A spiritual interception. A divine pause before the next wave of miracles. And it all hinges on whether you believe that God would cry over you, not to manipulate you, but to remind you that He's never loved another the way He loves you. And He is not done speaking. He is not done healing. And He is certainly not done choosing you. So let this part sink in. Let your spirit stop running. Because what you're about to receive is not an answer, it's an embrace. The kind that wraps your whole life in the warmth of heaven's promise and whispers, "You made it. Now rest. Now rise." There are moments when the universe grows quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because everything is aligning. Heaven holds its breath. The angels look down. God pauses the movement of miracles not to delay them, but to let you catch up. And right now, He's slowed eternity just to make space for you to understand, this isn't just another message. This is a crossing. A divine line drawn in spirit between the version of you that doubted and the version of you that will never skip God again. Because you have suffered long enough in silence. You have battled long enough in secret. Now heaven wants you to be seen, not by the world, but by your Creator, in fullness, in truth, in love. The enemy's greatest trick wasn't to steal your blessings, it was to convince you to walk away from them yourself. To skip the signs. To silence your own longing. To believe that heaven's words were for everyone but you. That when Archangel Michael speaks, it's for stronger, better, more deserving souls. But today, that lie is melting in the light of divine truth. Because God chose you. Not the version of you who prays with perfect words. Not the version who never struggles. Not the version who always gets it right. You. With the heartbreak. With the hesitation. With the heavy questions. He has never needed you to be polished. Just present. And beloved, your presence here right now is proof that you are listening. That something deeper in your spirit still believes in sacred timing. In whispers from beyond this realm. In holy appointments written long before your birth. And this is one of them. There's a reason you couldn't scroll past. A reason your breath caught when you read those words. Because your spirit recognized its name in them. It wasn't fear. It was memory. Heaven has been calling your name every night while you sleep. Michael has stood beside your bed, holding a sword not to fight, but to guard. Not to strike, but to sever every tie that's been delaying your divine season. He has watched over you as you cried without making a sound. He has stood beside you when people lied to your face and called it love. He has walked into rooms ahead of you and removed hands that were never meant to touch your destiny. And now, he is holding out a sealed scroll from the Father, a scroll with your instructions. Not just spiritual, but physical. Instructions on who to leave behind. What to stop entertaining. Where to place your full energy next. Because heaven is not just answering your prayers spiritually, it's about to shake the foundations of your physical life too. Home. Work. Relationships. All of it is under divine review, and everything that doesn't serve your destiny is being uprooted. God has been silent because He's been working. And what you mistook for being forgotten was actually you being fortified. Not everything that was removed was a loss. Some were protections. Some were delays for greater preparation. And now the time of waiting is coming to an end. Not because you forced it, but because you finally surrendered to it. And your surrender is birthing an unexpected reward. This is not just about comfort. It's about confirmation. That everything you sensed, every little spiritual tug you ignored or second-guessed, was real. It was heaven. It was love. It was God crying louder, not to guilt you, but to break through the noise of everything else. And now the noise is falling away. You are still. You are listening. You are receiving. And what you are about to receive next, you won't have to chase. You'll only need to open your hands and say yes. You were not supposed to see this by accident. This was scheduled in the secret chambers of heaven before your clock even ticked today. God knew your fingers would pause right here. He knew your heart was tired of hoping, but your spirit still had 1 ounce of belief left, just enough for him to work with. And that's all heaven ever needed. Not perfection. Just permission. And beloved, by not skipping this, you have given heaven permission to finish what it started in you. You have given Michael the clearance to go ahead. To unseal what's been held back. And to let the blessings that were hovering above your life finally pour. Because while you were crying in your room wondering why nothing was working, heaven was preparing a table for you. While you were watching others rise and wondering why you kept being overlooked, God was hiding you on purpose, because He didn't want you exposed before you were ready. He didn't want your blessings touched by hands that only saw your surface and not your soul. But now, something has changed. The covering is lifting. The clouds are parting. And your name is being called in rooms you've never stepped in. Because the time of spiritual pregnancy is now turning into delivery. What was hidden is about to be held. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not broken beyond repair. You are exactly where you were meant to be for what heaven is about to do next. And no, it won't look like a fireworks show. It won't always come with loud announcements. But you'll feel it in your body. You'll feel a sudden sense of release. You'll feel your chest exhale the years you didn't even realize you were carrying. And in that breath, you'll feel the presence of God so strong that no lie, no delay, no distraction will ever again make you question your worth. Because God isn't just answering you. He's affirming you. And that affirmation will echo into every room you walk in from now on. Michael stands beside you right now, not with a warning, but with a robe. A new garment to clothe the next version of you. One not wrapped in survival, but in strategy. In sacred confidence. In divine identity. You will no longer shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You will no longer question if you're worthy of love, purpose, or power. That voice inside that has always told you you were made for more. It was never your imagination. It was heaven's whisper. And now it's shouting. Because your time has come. And nothing will stop what is now in motion. The people who ignored you are about to remember your name. The prayers you forgot you even whispered are about to be answered out loud. The doors that stayed shut for so long are now being pushed open by angelic hands. You won't have to knock. You won't have to beg. All you have to do is believe. Believe that this moment wasn't just another scroll, it was sacred alignment. Believe that Archangel Michael has come not to observe, but to deliver. And believe, above all, that when God cries louder, it's not out of anger, but love so deep, it aches to see you doubt 1 second longer, so let your heart open wide. Let your soul finally breathe. The time of stretching is ending. The time of showing is here. And you won't walk into it alone. You'll walk into it with all of heaven behind you, lifting you, loving you, and leading you to everything that's already been written in your favor. There is a sound that rises in heaven when a chosen one finally accepts the truth. Not a loud trumpet. Not a thunderclap. But a soft, holy tear falling from the eyes of God, a tear not of sorrow, but of relief. Because the delay is over. Because your heart, the one that has been battered by betrayal and silenced by shame, is open again. It's listening. And heaven has been waiting for this exact softness in you. You didn't need to be perfect. You didn't need to be powerful. You just needed to be open. And now that you are, all of creation has taken notice. For the last few months, there have been blessings pacing outside your door. They didn't leave you. They were waiting for instruction. God didn't say no. He said, "Not yet." Because he couldn't send glory into a house that was still filled with unhealed wounds. But now, because you chose to listen, because you chose not to skip, those blessings have received their signal. The gates are open. The divine currency that has been hovering over your name is now being released. Not in drops. In waves. Because God doesn't restore with balance, He restores with overflow. He knows what was stolen. He knows what was buried. And He's not just returning it, He's multiplying it. There are moments in life where a person changes, not by decision, but by encounter. This is one of them. You are not the same person you were before you began reading this. Something in you has already shifted. Your energy has changed. The light around your name in the spirit has intensified. And because of that, people will notice. They'll ask what happened. They'll feel a difference when they talk to you. They'll either be drawn closer or fall away. And you must be okay with both. Because not everyone who held your hand was meant to hold your future. And God will not allow your next season to be slowed by familiar souls who were never meant to cross this threshold with you. Archangel Michael has been instructed to walk beside you more closely now. You will feel it when you enter certain places, an invisible push, a pull, a silence that fills the room, and yet you will not feel alone. That is Him. Guarding. Clearing the path. Whispering names in heavenly places so that your name is spoken on earth by people who hold the keys to the next chapter of your purpose. And when it happens, it will feel natural. Effortless. Because what is divine does not demand, it draws. It calls what is yours to you without resistance. And beloved, your calling has been reactivated. This isn't just about money. This isn't just about love. This is about alignment. Divine positioning. Supernatural visibility. What was blocked before is now being highlighted. What was denied before is now being accelerated. Your pain was not for nothing. It was a setup for recognition. Every time you were quiet while being mistreated. Every time you chose patience instead of pride. Every time you gave without receiving. Heaven wrote it all down. And now, it is your time to collect. So don't rush. Don't panic. Don't question. Just breathe. And stay open. You don't need to strive. You just need to receive. You don't need to perform. You just need to be still. Because what's coming next isn't from your hustle. It's from your surrender. And heaven is already on the move. This is not just a message. This is the moment everything inside you starts to turn. The moment you realize you were never forgotten, never disqualified, never cast aside. Heaven simply kept you hidden while the storm passed, and now, the rain has stopped. What's coming is not a recovery of old seasons, it's the unveiling of a new realm you never knew belonged to you. You're not going back to how things were. You're stepping into how things were always meant to be before they were interrupted by loss, betrayal, silence, or sabotage. That is why it has felt so heavy. That is why God cries louder each time you skip. Because He knows what's behind the curtain. He knows what you're about to miss when you turn away from the divine whisper echoing just behind this sacred moment. Do not underestimate how serious heaven is about you. Your name has been written into blueprints. Your future is not floating. It is structured. It is assigned. It is backed by angelic forces who do not sleep, who do not forget, and who do not lose battles. Archangel Michael has already stepped in. He is standing watch over your dreams, your sleep, your finances, your emotional balance. You may not see him, but you'll feel the moments when anxiety leaves without reason, when fear suddenly breaks, when peace covers you like a soft blanket even when circumstances stay the same. That is heaven beginning the inside job, because transformation always starts in the soul before it ever touches your reality. There are documents with your name on them. There are conversations happening in rooms you haven't walked into yet. There are people being assigned to bless you, to favor you, to accelerate your steps. But they cannot do their job if you don't believe you're worthy to receive it. You must allow heaven to pour into you without resisting it with your doubts. This isn't the time to talk yourself out of joy. This isn't the moment to shrink. This is the hour to say, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready." Because when you open your heart, heaven doesn't hesitate. The delay was never on God's side. It was always waiting for your heart to be still long enough to hear Him whisper again. What happened to you was unfair, but it was not final. The lies told about you were loud, but the truth is now louder. The people who left you behind thought it was over, but they didn't realize your resurrection wasn't a rumor, it was a plan. Your comeback has been orchestrated in silence, but it will arrive in power. You will not have to beg. You will not have to convince. What is yours will arrive with proof, and those who tried to bury you will have to sit and watch the table God prepared for you, because this table is not just for eating, it is for evidence. So today, right now, in this moment, choose not to skip. Choose not to close your heart again. Because the message isn't just an emotional touch, it is a turning point. A divine declaration. A signature from the throne room that says, "We are ready." Are you? Michael is watching. The scroll has been opened. And the seal has been broken. What's written in heaven is about to manifest on earth. And beloved, it has your name on it. There are no accidents when it comes to heaven's timing. Every blink of your eye, every ache in your chest, every name that crosses your mind in silence, it's all connected. You are not here by coincidence. This moment was written in eternity. Heaven designed this exact hour to awaken something inside you that has been quietly waiting for release. Something royal. Something ancient. Something sacred. There's a destiny coded into your soul, and while the world saw your mistakes, heaven saw the map. And right now, that map is unfolding. Slowly. Perfectly. And you are standing in the exact alignment where miracles become movement and divine promises become physical manifestation. Do you know why it felt like everything was falling apart before this moment? Because what was built on pain could not stay. What was founded on false friendships, secret jealousy, or temporary pleasure had to collapse. Not to break you, but to make room for what's true. God was not punishing you, beloved. He was pruning you. He was stripping away what could not travel into your next. You didn't lose, it was removed. You didn't fail, you were being protected. And the very things you thought disqualified you are the very things that heaven is using now to anoint you. You are being watched from above right now. Archangel Michael is not standing at a distance, he is standing right beside you. He is not carrying a sword of war right now, but a scroll of restoration. The scroll holds names, times, events, and rewards. And your name is glowing. Every time you were silent and faithful. Every time you were patient. Every time you cried in secret but still believed in God. It was written down. Heaven keeps a detailed record, not to condemn you, but to reward you. And beloved, the reward season has begun. There's a person in your bloodline, a past soul, who has been praying for your alignment. They saw what others didn't. They understood that your pain was not punishment, it was prophecy. You are the one who breaks the cycle. You are the one chosen to carry the inheritance that others misused. The reason it's been so hard for you is because your calling is not ordinary. Your hands are not just made to build, they are made to heal. Your voice is not just meant to speak, it is meant to shift atmospheres. That's why your presence unsettles shallow people. That's why even when you try to stay small, heaven keeps pushing you forward. This is your moment to accept the truth. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not cursed. You are called. You are seen. You are wrapped in divine light, and even if you feel tired, God is not. Even if you feel empty, heaven is full. Full of the very things you've been asking for. And those things are being dispatched to you now, not by chance, but by command. When you said, "I'm ready," even in a whisper, even in doubt, heaven shouted, "Now." And the shift began. Let go of who you thought you had to be. Let go of the timelines the world gave you. Let go of the bitterness that someone's betrayal left behind. Your future will not look like your past. And your past does not define your capacity. What defines you now is what heaven says. And heaven says, you are worthy. You are chosen. You are rising. You are the miracle that your family prayed for generations ago. You are the evidence that God doesn't forget. And this, right now, is your confirmation that the wait was not in vain. Heaven does not make announcements to the world when it releases favor, it whispers to the heart of the chosen. And you, beloved, have been chosen. This is not just about blessings or money or relationships. This is about identity. You were born carrying something that cannot be replicated, and that is why your journey has been so unique. People around you have moved faster, achieved more, received recognition, but what God is preparing in you is not for applause, it is for eternity. And eternity takes time. Eternity takes divine fire, sacred crushing, holy silence, and supernatural preparation. You have been walking through all of these without realizing the oil that is being pressed out of your life is not ordinary, it is royalty. God has heard every silent cry you released into your pillow. He has seen the moments you smiled publicly but shattered privately. He has counted the nights you didn't sleep, the days you fasted. When no one knew, the prayers you kept whispering even when you felt ignored. Heaven has not missed a single detail. And now, the divine verdict has been released, it's your time. Not because you manipulated, not because you chased approval, but because you stayed. You stayed when it was dark. You stayed when it didn't make sense. You stayed when others walked away. And heaven always rewards the faithful. Archangel Michael has not only been watching, he has been documenting. For months, he's been preparing the scroll that bears the evidence of your obedience. You didn't just survive storms, you shifted atmospheres. You didn't just lose people, you made room for angels. And now the time has come. The scroll is open. The seal is broken. Your name is being spoken in heavenly realms louder than ever before. This is the moment when your reward overtakes your suffering. This is the moment when the weight you've been carrying turns into wings. You are no longer the person who needs to prove themselves. You are the one who others will now ask, how did it happen so fast? But the truth is, it wasn't fast. It was faith. Faith that kept going. Faith that refused to die. Faith that fought in silence. And that faith has now built a bridge from heaven to your doorstep. The angel assigned to your destiny has already left the throne and is traveling toward your home carrying keys. Keys to unlock what no man could unlock for you. Keys to release what no system could release. Keys that were forged in fire but shaped by grace. Something inside of you is shifting even now. You can feel the trembling. You can feel the tears forming. That's not emotion, that's confirmation. That's the divine place inside of you recognizing the truth of this moment. You were born for such a time as this. Everything tried to stop you, but God refused to let it succeed. Every setback was a setup. Every disappointment was a detour toward divine alignment. Every delay was a redirection to something better. You have not missed it. You are not late. You are right where God needs you to be to receive what no eye has seen. And now, beloved, your only job is to receive. To stop doubting your worth. To stop dimming your light. To stop apologizing for your glow. God is not ashamed of you. He is proud of how you endured. And because of that, He is releasing what only endurance can unlock, divine compensation. In relationships. In resources. In rest. In revelation. And in radical, unexplainable favor.